began hearing petitions filed against the Waqf Amendment Bill. The court grilled the government and even proposed to stay parts of the new legislation. The apex court questioned why people practicing other religions should be part of the Waqf board. The court asked if the government will allow Muslims to be part of the Hindu religious trusts. Ashmit Kumar is here with more on the first day of hearing and some scathing observations by the top court.
Well, an important day in the life of the newly passed Waqf Amendment Act. The Supreme Court contemplating a partial stay of various provisions of this very same act, which till very recently was making headlines in the Parliament. Now, what are the aspects that the Supreme Court is thinking about? Well, one of the concerns that has been voiced by the Supreme Court is the discontinuation of Waqf by user. This was a legal doctrine which was available in the earlier version of the Waqf Act, which basically said that a property that's being used for a religious or charitable purposes over an extended period of time can be recognized as Waqf. However, this has been discontinued under the new act. Now, this was cited as a major concern by the petitioners and also by the apex court. The Supreme Court, in fact, questioned the centre how it could turn the clock back and seek a registration of properties which were built hundreds of years back. In fact, the Supreme Court cited the example of the famous Jama Masjid in Delhi, saying that it was built hundreds of years back. There was no concept of registration, and therefore for now, in 2025, for the centre to insist on some formal registration to recognize a property as Waqf would be impossible to do, would be impossible to perform. And this was a question that was posed to the centre, and it is on the back of this that the Supreme Court observed that it is contemplating, it is thinking of passing an interim order that any property that's been declared to be a Waqf property will continue to be so and will not be denotified under the new act. That was one. The second is with respect to the presence of non-Muslim in Waqf Council as well as Waqf boards. Now, this new 2025 Act essentially provides for presence of non-Muslims as well as a part of the Central Council as well as of the state boards as well. Now, this is something that the apex court frowned upon. The Supreme Court said that most Hindu endowments that the Supreme Court is aware of are in fact managed by Hindus themselves. That in fact, even asking a very pointed question of the centre, that is the centre willing to put on record that it will allow Muslims to be a part of the managing committee of Hindu endowments? No answer fell from the centre, and therefore the next observation that fell from the apex court is that it is considering a partial stay of the provisions with respect to continuation of non-Muslims on the council. It said that it is thinking of passing orders that outside of the ex officio members, none of the other members will be non-Muslim. So these are considerations as of this stage. No final orders, no interim orders have been passed. The Supreme Court, we understand, will resume hearing in this case tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Right. Thank you very much, Ashmit, for joining us. Chief Justice of India